For 50 years, one man kept a promise sealed by a contract, and he stayed silent about Elvis Presley's final hours. Silence like that shaped the story. Now that agreement has expired, and at 83, Jerry Schilling is ready to reveal what the world never knew about the King's last moments. Truth comes with a cost. Was the legend truly alone the night before everything changed, or did Elvis's whispered warning reshape history? The answer not only challenges the official story, it raises a question Graceland tried to bury. Jerry Schilling's name appears in black ink near the bottom of a legal document, dated September 2, 1977. The language is precise, an agreement that restricts him from speaking about anything he saw, heard, or knew inside Graceland during the final months of Elvis Presley's life. The document is not just a relic, it is a contract that defined the boundaries of loyalty for 5 decades. The expiration date reads September 2, 2027. For years, rumors of these agreements circled among fans and biographers, but few outside the inner circle ever saw a fragment. The text carries standard legal markers, a notary stamp from Shelby County, Tennessee, and an embossed seal from the law offices that handled Elvis Presley's estate. The signature is unmistakable, Schilling's own, written in the same hand that once dialed the private phones at Graceland. Behind the legal language lies the weight of a promise, silence, not just out of respect, but enforced by threat of lawsuit and loss of all access to the Presley legacy. For Jerry, the contract was more than a piece of paper. It was a line he could not cross. Even as stories swirled and questions mounted, the non-disclosure agreement has expired. For the first time since 1977, Schilling is free to speak without fear of legal action or family reprisal. The stakes are clear. What he reveals now will not only challenge the official story, but may force a reckoning with the image of Elvis the world thought it knew. A black and white photograph from 1972 captures Jerry Schilling at Elvis Presley's side, both men relaxed in Graceland's den. The image shows the casual closeness of friends who shared more than work. This is evidence of a private confidence. In another image from 1976, Schilling stands backstage holding a clipboard as Elvis, still in his jumpsuit, laughs with the band. These are not just snapshots, they show a deeper relationship that went beyond the public stage. Schilling's role was not ceremonial. As a member of the Memphis Mafia, he coordinated travel, managed schedules, and acted as a buffer between Elvis and the relentless demands of fame. His job meant handling late-night calls, smoothing over disputes, and sometimes simply listening when the world outside felt hostile. He was trusted to coordinate the smallest and hardest tasks. In the months leading to August 1977, Graceland was a fortress of routine and exhaustion. The house pulsed with tour preparations, set lists left on kitchen counters, suitcases packed and unpacked, staff moving quietly through the halls. The pressure to deliver another round of sold-out shows weighed on everyone, but especially on Elvis. Even in rare moments of calm, the tension in the air was unmistakable. Exhaustion. For Schilling, being in that inner circle meant witnessing the private toll of public expectation. The photographs preserved in Graceland's archives and private collections confirm his access. They show him not as a distant employee, but as someone trusted with the smallest details and the biggest secrets. He was, in short, trusted. In late 1977, proximity to Elvis was not just about loyalty, it was about navigating a world where every conversation could be the last, and every moment might matter more than anyone realized. By the summer of 1977, the contrast between Elvis's physical condition and his mental clarity was impossible to ignore for those closest to him. Doctors' notes from the period list a staggering array of prescriptions, painkillers, sleeping pills, antihistamines, muscle relaxants, 14 different substances circulating through his system at any given time. The side effects were visible: swollen hands, labored breathing, and the slow, heavy steps of a man decades older than 42. Yet even as his body struggled, glimpses of the old creative spark surfaced. On nights when sleep would not come, Elvis would gather a few trusted friends in the music room and launch into impromptu gospel sessions that stretched until dawn. Jerry Schilling remembers a notepad on the kitchen counter, scrawled with set-list ideas for the upcoming tour, even as the schedule demanded more than his health could offer. The strain was written in the routines, calls to Dr. Nicopolis for stronger medication, staff tiptoeing around in hopes of avoiding a crisis. But behind closed doors, Elvis's mind still raced with plans. He debated arrangements, discussed new songs, and critiqued rehearsal tapes with the same intensity that made him a star. For those in the inner circle, the contradiction was unsettling. A man whose body was failing, but whose ambition and awareness remained as fierce as ever. Colonel Tom Parker's signature appeared on every contract that mattered, but it was the fine print that told the real story. In 1977, the tour agreement included a continuous performance clause, and Elvis was expected to keep moving, city after city, with hardly any breaks. The revenue split was locked at 50-50, an arrangement that left little room for negotiation or rest. Parker's grip went beyond scheduling. He controlled the image, the set lists, even the merchandise. Press releases from that summer described Elvis as unstoppable, a machine built for the stage. Behind the scenes, the pressure mounted. RCA executives watched the numbers climb, but for Elvis, the demands felt endless. Every decision, from the color of the jumpsuit to the timing of the next show, ran through Parker's office. The commercial engine behind Elvis Presley ran on relentless momentum, and Parker made sure it never slowed. For those closest to Elvis, the pattern was unmistakable. The more the world demanded, the more Parker tightened control. The public saw the spectacle, but inside Graceland, the cost was measured in exhaustion and frustration. Parker's contracts did more than dictate business. They shaped the boundaries of Elvis's life, and they fueled a fear that the man behind the legend might one day be reduced to nothing more than a marketing tool. Upstairs at Graceland, the world outside faded into silence. The air held a stillness broken only by the faint hum of the air conditioner and the distant shuffle of feet on the carpet below. Light filtered through heavy drapes, casting a muted glow across the room. On the dresser, a copy of the book The Scientific Search for the Face of Jesus rested beside a half-empty glass of water. Elvis stood by the bathroom doorway, gold pajamas catching the soft light, his posture relaxed but alert. His hair, still carefully styled, seemed untouched by the long night. A notepad with scribbled song titles lay on the counter, evidence of restless plans for the tour that would never come. The room felt both familiar and foreign, crowded with the quiet details of a life lived at full volume, medication bottles lined up in precise order, a worn Bible tucked between stacks of mail, a pair of sunglasses folded neatly on the vanity. In this hush, every object seemed to hold its breath, waiting for words that would linger long after the morning faded. Elvis leaned in, voice low and steady. He said that they were going to try to make him a caricature. He added, "Don't let them forget the music." The words landed between them, heavy with intent. Jerry Schilling stood silent, searching Elvis's face for any hint of fear or regret. Instead, he saw a kind of calm, a man who knew what was coming, but still cared about what would be left behind. In that pause, the quiet of Graceland seemed to deepen. Downstairs, life went on in routine. Upstairs, a legacy was handed off in a single sentence. Hours later, Ginger Alden found Elvis unresponsive on the bathroom floor, the book he had brought with him set aside. Paramedics arrived just after 2 p.m., but the effort to revive him failed. At 3:30 p.m., the hospital pronounced Elvis Aaron Presley dead. The official cause was cardiac arrhythmia, complicated by years of prescription drug use. For Jerry Schilling, the memory of that final plea would echo far longer than any headline. Today, myths outlast memories. Every year, 16 million people stream Elvis's music, proof the art endures, even as the man's true voice fades into legend. The real test isn't remembering a star, it's honoring the truth behind the icon. What story do you choose to believe?